Hey folks, welcome back to Game Geeks. I'm your host, Kurt Wiegel. Today's episode is something kind of special. X-plorers, the role-playing game. Now, I have this in a file here because I received it as a PDF from the author for the purpose of this review. The author, for those of you who troll around at RPGNet, is none other than Grubman, who is responsible for a great many wonderful things that have happened there, including, and he's really going to hate me for bringing this up, but including the 101 Days of Savage Worlds. And ultimately, he's responsible for me becoming interested in Savage Worlds, and we all see where that has led us. So that being established, let's get into what this game is. This is a game that is essentially very old school in style and in implementation. And when I mean old school, I'm going all the way back to the dawn of the very first boxed sets of Dungeons & Dragons, with the Errol Otis cover and the fighter and the sorceress going down into the dungeon to fight that dragon. There was something about that man's artwork that really typifies early D&D for me. This is a science fiction game along that theme, the premise of which being the original designers of D&D were more into science fiction than they were fantasy, and this is the game that probably would have come out of it. So, this is a scaled-down, rules-light science fiction RPG. Very much, the print, the text, the overall structure of the format is very much going back to those early books. This game has 4 basic stats, which range in number from 3 to 18, 4 classes to choose from: the scientist, the soldier, the scout, and the technician. There are a body of preset skills that come with each and every one of those classes. Then with that, you also have a random number of hit points, but that seems fairly universal across all the stats. The engine itself is a D20 based engine, roll high. The skills, you want to roll higher than the attribute, the skill target that you have. Your combat is based off of a fairly unified, you have a base to hit for melee and ranged. The damage itself for non-player characters and for objects and robots, if you hit 0 hit points, you're dead. If you're a character, then you start rolling on critical hit tables. There is a modest bestiary contained at the back, which allows you a lot of ability to build your own sort of critter to go with it. There's an adventure at the back, which is Cleopatra Station, which is, I hate to say this, but it's as close to a dungeon crawl with space as you can get. The campaign conceit that goes along with it is that you're part of the X-plorers, which is sort of a galactic troubleshooting organization. At the back, it also gives you a set of pre-generated characters to sort of give you an idea for how this could work in case you just want to throw these characters at your players and run the adventure and see how they like it. This uses a fairly streamlined set of dice that you'll probably have if you're a gamer already. Along with this is a fairly well-developed Starship space system, which you could also use for dogfighting, that uses a well-defined track, gives you an idea for where you are in terms of range and how you can shoot and what you can do with it. The main key for this game is simplicity. It is slimmed down. There's not a whole lot of detail for you to trip over. It assumes some very straightforward things as to why you're out adventuring in space. It gives you a small description for the universe, that is, you're sort of set in the inner solar system, and then there's the outer galaxy, clusters of stars that you can go to. Not a whole lot of detail for you to choke on here, folks. It's very straightforward and lets you get right into adventuring right away. There's also a quarterly supplement called Galactic Troubleshooters that comes out to sort of add on rules that you can choose to use or not to use, and sort of other adventures that are contained inside of that. The Galactic Troubleshooters number 1 is the one that I have here. It's called The Fate of the Amun-Re. It sort of deals with some advanced combat rules and some ideas for companies and mega corporations, and then finally an adventure contained in the back that focuses around one planet that, to be honest with you, felt a little bit like the Volturnus systems, Volturnus world and adventures that came in the original Star Frontiers games, which was really TSR's first foray into science fiction. Honestly, if you like a rules-light science fiction game that really harkens back to the early days of role-playing, this is a great option for you. It allows you to get right into playing right away without a lot of rules to trip on or to have a problem with. There's enough there to run a very effective game. I'm quite excited about this. I think it's a wonderful product. It's currently available in print on demand through Lulu PugKnows.com. The author has also recently reached an agreement with another publishing house to get this into brick and mortar role-playing game shops out there. Look for this if you like sci-fi and if you want something a bit on the lighter side that won't choke you to death with crunch, and if you just want to have something that reminds you of the early days of role-playing when you were really excited and jazzed about the entire hobby. For Game Geeks, I'm your host, Kurt Wiegel. Good day and good gaming.